Jules, what was wrong with Spurs today?
Yeah.
I think the biggest one is the gap in talent and the gap in the way the two teams are. One with Conte still learning how he wants them to play. You can see that even if they hadn't lost in the league with him since he arrived, the game against Watford was quite average and quite poor for most of it, to be fair, because I think they're still learning. And also, I think he knows, and I think Jan hinted about it, a lot of them are not good enough in that team, certainly not good enough for what he wants them to do. And that's why they're looking at a lot of positions to upgrade and get better players in. And I think today you saw the difference between even a Chelsea B team, yet still too good, too strong for a Spurs A team, really, because that was Spurs' strongest 11 pretty much. And on the other side, you had a lot of rotation and a lot of changes made by Chelsea, and yet they were still too good. So this is the difference in talent and the gap between the two clubs. I don't think there's any surprise there, really.
What sort of vibe did you get from Conte afterwards, Jan?
Well, I got the Conte vibes. I mean, I somehow love to interview him because it's somehow, in his funny way, he's always quite clear. So he's telling. So I asked him, Jules is talking about this in lack of talent. Can you do that on a training ground, or can you do that to buy players? And then you just saw his Italian kind of expression, and he went into a long answer that you will find on my Twitter timeline anyway. But it was a long answer where he said that we have to train, but it's not an easy solution to just getting players and so on. But you can see he's frustrated. You can see he's a bit disappointed, and you can also see, Jules know that because he was sitting on my same place that I had at Stamford Bridge. You are very close to the coaches, and you can see how they work. And you can see he looked a bit like he couldn't believe it, how bad they were, really. And Tuchel running around, and I'm so glad that not every journalist knew all the Germans, because all the things he can say during a game is unbelievable. But I won't do that on a family channel like ours.
Well, that's the first time you've decided not to swear on the show. Thank you very much for that, Jan. And Nadim, defensively, Spurs just look a shambles, didn't they?
Yeah, I think so. I think those, for as much as we say Chelsea outplayed them, I think the two goals that Chelsea scored, they were basically gifted. You look at the first one, and Spurs had the ball, but they just made the wrong decision in the wrong moment, and before you know it, they get punished for it. And I'll be honest, the second goal, there's going to be a lot of stress level that, say, the people who had the ball and so on. But I've looked back at that clip, and as the ball comes into the box, there's not, like, the nearest player is Mason Mount, who's outside the frame of the goal. There are 4 or 5 Spurs players in the middle of the goal. For me, Lloris should come and either claim the ball or say time, because he's got the best view of it all. I think if you look back at it, it's a horrendous goal. So it just goes back to say what Jan was saying about the coaching and things like this. It seems to me that Conte has a clear vision in terms of what he wants to see from his side. But clearly he looks at the players and he doesn't believe they're going to be able to have that they're going to be able to manifest that vision for him. And it's just little moments like that. You want a bit more composure. You want somebody to come and just claim it. Just take control of a situation which really wasn't dangerous. But unfortunately at the minute they're not delivering. And defensively, those types of mistakes against a side like Chelsea, they could cost you. And who knows, come the end of the game next week, they could be the reason why they're not on their way to Wembley.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.